What's up, everybody? I'm Ali Burns from Picks Parlays, and it's time for Total Chaos. Playoff Chaos is what we're going to do here. We're going to go over the 4 NHL games and the 2 NBA games that are going down on Wednesday, May the 4th. Now, Scott Steehn, I hear you are not the biggest hockey guy, so may the 4th be with you
and
on
also
this
with
Total
you.
Chaos. And also what?
And also with you.
All right, perfect. Perfect. Scott Reichel, you are a hockey guy, right? You're a New Yorker. You got all that.
Unfortunately, I'm an Islanders fan, so I have the Rangers in it. The Islanders are not. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, you guys know me. I'm a Knights fan. First year, not in the playoffs. I'm not even sure how I feel about it. I'm not even sure if I like hockey anymore at this point. I wasn't the biggest fan to begin with. For anyone who knows,
you're dead to me, hockey.
Finite. For anyone just joining us, let's like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. I've got my Winners and Whiners crew here. You can check out Scott and Scott Monday through Friday on Back to the Window with Scott and Scott, 3 p.m. Eastern, right on the Max Wagers Network. So we're going to kick this party off. Let me see what your records are here. We didn't do one last week, right? So I should be current.
I was going to say, you just showed them, so I think they're right.
Yeah. So Scott Reichel, you're 15-20. Scott Steehn, you're 15-18. So you are in the lead, and you are going to go first.
Like
we're going to talk 76. Huh?
Like winning the Special Olympics.
You get a participation trophy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so 76ers are at the Heat. It's 2:07. Sixers are down one game. Embiid is still out. Scott Steehn, is it going over or under the 2:07?
No, this is going under the 2:07. Are you 2:07 flat?
And a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, no, it's going under 2:07. This is the team that looks absolutely lost without Embiid. And until he comes back, I'm not counting on Philadelphia to score over 100 points. And Miami, probably the best defensive team in the country. Certainly right now, I will absolutely take this one under the total.
Yeah, my friend was like, well, but they still have Harden. I'm like, have you ever seen Harden play in the playoffs? I don't know.
He's the playoffs. Have you seen Harden play? He can't move.
He's 70, so that probably isn't going to help.
There's that too. All right, Reichel.
I'm going with the under as well.
All right.
The thing is, the 76ers need to play faster without Embiid, which actually would benefit the over. But then Doc Rivers said he wants to use DeAndre Jordan again as the starting center, which makes no sense to me because
You remember that quote? That was the best quote. What was it?
He might be the worst basketball player in the league. I'm trying to think of the quote that you were talking about. It's like, I don't care what you think. I'm doing it anyway.
You got to do it anyway. You
got to do it anyway. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, he's awful. So as long as he's on the court, the 76ers offense should struggle, and they might play him 20 minutes again. But they scored 90. They didn't even get to 90 last game, or they got to 92. So they can barely score without Embiid. Harden really can't move out there. He had one good game in the last couple of weeks in the closeout game against Toronto, but that's basically it. And Miami's one of the best defensive teams in the league. So I'm going to go with the under. I'm not sure if Philly gets to even 95 in this game.
Tell me how you really feel. All right, the Mavs are at the Suns. Suns took down the first one. They covered it by 1. We've got 216.5 on the total. Reichel, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go with the over in this one. The first game was a pretty high-scoring one. You had 235. Fun fact, in that first game, 3 of the 4 quarters had at least 60 points, which bodes well for the over. But for me, we know Dallas is going to chuck up a bunch of threes. I'm not sure how many of them are going to go in. But Phoenix got whatever it wanted offensively for the first 3 quarters. They kind of kicked it off once they were up 16 points. So Phoenix could have scored 130 if they wanted to, but I really don't see many answers for Dallas defensively. They can't guard Ayton. They can't really guard anyone on the perimeter either. It seemed like Phoenix got whatever it wanted for the entire game. I see a similar story here. Phoenix gets to 120, and I'll take the over.
Steehn, your thoughts?
I'm going over as well. This is a Dallas team that has played pretty good defense throughout the entire season, and all we've learned so far is most of those games weren't against the Suns. As Reichel pointed out, this Dallas team, they fall in love with the three. They took 39 3-pointers in that game. Now they were shooting a decent percentage. They made 41% of them shooting 16 for 39. That ain't bad, and I don't think they're going to have any luck in the middle. I think they're going to shoot from the perimeter again. You shoot somewhere over 35%. I think this game's going over the total.
I'm not sure if Dallas is going to shoot that well again, but all I know is that I saw nothing from Dallas defensively that tells me they can guard Phoenix. So I think Phoenix should do a lot of the heavy lifting for the over.
Well, I even bake that in. Like I said, if they shoot 35%, I think this is going over.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So there we go. Okay. So we're cruising over. We're going over to hockey. The hockey playoffs. We're starting off with the Boston Brewers at the Carolina Hurricanes. It's
Brewers?
5 Bruins. I said Brewers, didn't I?
I heard Brewers. All right.
Yeah. Because I don't like, I have a piece of hair that is tickling me so bad right now. Oh my God. Okay. I had to get that sorted out. Sorry. Okay. So 5.5. And it's the Bruins. We're all clear on that, right? Okay. Got it. Steehn, you're first. What do you got?
Going over 5.5. This is a Carolina team. They have absolutely had Boston's number this season. They've outscored them 22-2 in the 4 games this season, despite the fact that they were pretty close to even in shots, and they were actually outshot in 2 of the 4 games. Boston had 36 shots in game 1, but true to their form throughout the entire season, they didn't make many of them because they are 30th in shooting percentage. Ranta was absolutely outstanding, stood on his head, stopped 35 of 36 shots. I don't see that being repeatable. This total has gone over in their last 3 games. I expect that trend to continue in this one. Give me the over 5.5.
Okay. Do you want it too?
I'm going to go a bit contrarian. I'm going to go with the under in this game. Now, I know that Ronto is really good. Truth is, I thought Ullmark was okay too. It just seemed like Boston's defense eventually just wore down as the game went on. You only had 2 goals going into the third period, and then you had 4 goals in the third period. But I do find it kind of interesting that with Carolina's offensive success against this team, the totals opened up at 5.5. That seems a little bit trappy to me. And you mentioned how Carolina's been great offensively. How many goals did you say Boston scored in 4 meetings against Carolina this season? I believe 2.
And that is a problem. I agree.
So if Boston scores 1 or 2 in this game, I do think defensively Boston should have looked sharper. So I'm going to go with the under. I see a 3-2 game, maybe overtime.
Okay. Ooh. All right. That's fishy. I like it. Maybe not fishy, but interesting. I want to sink my teeth into it.
The Brewers and the Bruins can't score, so you know.
Yeah, that's a double whammy right there. Just put that in your brain and don't forget it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, we got the Lightning at the Leafs. Leafs won the first one. 6.5 is the total. Reichel, what do you got?
So it's a high total, but I'm going to go with the over in this one. Tampa really just was awful on the power play, which is rare because this team's a top 10 power play in the league. I think they'll look better. Seemed like a lot of undisciplined play, though. A lot of power plays, a lot of opportunities there. Toronto offensively, we know that team's insane when it comes to scoring the puck. 3 of the first 5 meetings this season, including the game 1, have had at least 8 goals. So these teams, when they get together, usually have a lot of firepower. Plus, I can see each team getting to 3. So you do have a 3-3 overtime draw there. I'm going to take the over 6.5.
All right, Steehn, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to bank on Vasilevsky. He has been outstanding in the playoffs after coming off of a loss. He is 14-0-0 coming off of a playoff loss, 966 save percentage, 5 shutouts in those 14 games. I think he bounces back. I think Tampa Bay bounces back as well. Give me a 2-1 game, this one with Tampa Bay winning.
2-1. Okay. You want the alternative under 3.5 there?
That's right.
Okay.
That's what I'm playing.
I like it. All right. Blues are at the Wild. The number on this one's 6. Blues took down game 1 4-0. Scott Steehn, what's going to happen this time?
Got the over here, the flat 6. 61% of the Blues games have gone over the total so far this season, gone over the total of 6. Minnesota in their last 10, they've averaged 6.5 goals per game. St. Louis has averaged 6.8. Fleury, God bless him. He was a fine goalie, just not in this decade. He allowed 4 goals in just 31 shots. Again,
this decade. Wait a minute. Maybe just not in this year, but I mean, he did well with the Knights. I mean, he kind of was awesome.
In the playoffs, he's been relatively streaky. Let's put it that way.
Okay, that I can live with. All right, go ahead.
And
hanging on for anything.
St. Louis looked like geniuses by sitting the hotshot goalie that won in the cup a few years back. They started Husso, and he was outstanding. Stopped all 37 shots. I don't believe that's sustainable. I've got the over here.
That's a good call. Sustainability is very important in sports betting, right? Shell, what are you thinking about this?
I'm going to go with the over as well. I know that game 1 went under, but if you look at all the regular season meetings, they all went over. So I do think that if you want to go by the overall body of work, these teams have tended to be, well, pretty close together and pretty high scoring. But you mentioned that Husso is very good. He saved all 37 shots. that means Minnesota still had 37 shots on net. So I do think they'll get a couple across. And one thing that I can't really just overstate, Minnesota's penalty kill is atrocious. And St. Louis had 2 power play goals in game 1. It's been an issue for Minnesota all season long. They got to stay out of the box. I'm not sure they're going to. So I think St. Louis should do pretty well offensively. Not to mention the empty netter potential, because we saw the Bruins last game in game 1 pull the goalie down 3 goals with about 4 minutes to go. It's really tough to take an under with a flat 6 when that's a possibility. I'm going to go with the over.
All right. Another just bonus pick that I've been tailing all season, I'm sure you've heard me say this before on Hockey Chaos, is the Blues second period money line. It is a huge casher. A good friend of mine, shout out to Morning Woody, Alan Miles. This is his team and this is his play, and he cashes on it a lot. Okay, last one for the round. We got the LA Kings at the Edmonton Oilers. Kings won the first one. It was 4-3. That was an exciting game. It was first period 2-1 Kings, second period 2-1 Oilers, and then Kings took it down. Excuse me. What happened? Yeah, 2-1, and then Kings scored in the third to make it 4-3. Scott Reichel. Is it going over or under this 6.5?
Do you think I'm going to take an under with Mike Smith in a playoff game? Of course I'm taking an over. I mean, the first game was absolutely nuts, and there were 7 goals. It felt like there could have been 15. It seemed like both teams were just going up and down the entire game. McDavid's insane. Draisaitl's insane. You had 10 penalties between the two teams combined. That's a lot of power plays, and when you have McDavid on the power play several times in a game, you assume they might get 1 or 2 across. But Quick looked pretty good in game 1. They still peppered him a lot with shots. But Mike Smith is so bad, and the Oilers' defense is terrible too. I could see another 3-3 situation where you might end up getting a 4-3 game, but I got to go with the over because I expect Mike Smith to really just mishandle the puck, and his rebound control is not great either. I see goals.
All right, I don't hear a Valentine's card being sent to him anytime soon. Scott Steehn, what do you got?
I'm on the over as well. You know, this is a weird game. Edmonton was 2 for 4 on the power play. They were 4 for 4 killing penalties. They outshot the Kings, but they never led in this game. Harken back to last year when the Oilers were favorites against the Jets, got swept in 4 games. Why is that? Well, Mike Smith gave up 14 goals in those 4 games. Tradition like no other. Mike Smith sucking in the playoffs. I think it continues in this one. Give me over 6.5.
So these suck butts are in and my Knights aren't?
Yeah.
How does that even work out?
You might have made it in if you could actually score a shootout goal once in a while.
Oh, it was piss poor. Piss poor, Vegas.
You went 0 for 14 in shootout attempts in must-win games.
Oh my God, we lead a game all the way through to tie it. You know, we're up by 3 and then we tie it and lose in overtime. Kind of garbage. That was just, it was bad. It was bad hockey.
A lot of times, Reichel and we look at sporting events and say, well, we could do that. Of course, we're full of shit. And
going 0 for 14 in shootouts, we could do that.
I was going to say that the 3 of us right here putting on skates, we could have gone out there and skated and not scored any goals.
I said it last time we were on. You got to get rid of DeBoer. He's just not a very good coach. You got to get rid of DeBoer.
Yeah, I want Gallant back.
Yeah, he's with the Rangers right now in the playoffs. So
yeah. I want him back.
I can't believe they got rid of him.
I was shocked but I heard that it was like a really nasty thing and that there's no way he's ever coming back. So
well, divorces are never easy, you know.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, but they were looking to take that next step. Unfortunately, it was a big step.
It was backwards.
Yeah.
They took the step back.
They're like doing the conga. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so that's how that worked out. So we're going to do a little recapping, but I want to give you guys a second to tell the people at home who you are and where to find you. Like I mentioned earlier, on the Max Wagers Network, Winners and Whiners, they got a show. It's called Back to the Window with Scott and Scott, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. You'll find me there on Fridays. Scott Steehn, tell the people about the show.
I like how you say that. Even these guys have a show. So
I didn't say even these guys.
Everybody's got a show, you know.
Everybody's got a show these days.
You get a show, and you get a show.
Yeah, pretty much.
You guys have to share your show, though.
We also do 7 different podcasts, so
yeah.
It's a lot of fun. We talk to people in real time, which I think is probably the most fun aspect of it. Right there in the comment section, we can talk to them, get whatever plays they're on. They're asking us for opinions and let us know what they think of what we're doing. So it's cool to interact in real time. And we'll throw out some plays. We have some fun. We recap yesterday's action and we put on goofy hats. So
how'd your Bet the Farm do yesterday?
It did not do well.
I think I'm your curse of Bet the Farm, because when I bet the farm with you guys, it doesn't win, and I think I'm pretty like 98% sure it's my fault.
So is it a coincidence that you did not show up on Friday's show and we won the farm on Friday? Is that a coincidence?
No, that's not a coincidence.
Okay.
That just proves my point right there. I did not show up. Okay, I told you I wasn't going to be. I was on vacation.
I didn't say you ditched us. I just said you weren't
no
there.
Call,
that's all
no
I said.
showed or something.
Well, you were running about 60% on showing up, I think.
I have things going on. Okay, it's Friday.
She has a life, you know.
Yeah. Well, and my show ends at 11, and then I got to be on you guys at noon, and I got to get to the sports book in between that time, and there's.
She's throwing in crisscrosses, so she has 2 times the bets. There's a lot going on.
Don't you have an app on your phone for the books?
Yeah, I do, but I want the paper.
Why?
She hates trees.
That's really that's not your concern, because I want the paper. Wait, you're the boss of me now?
You get to look at the sheets and then you get to fold it up. You get to make some origami figures.
I write numbers on them in blue ink because it shows up against the black, and then I keep track of those throughout the rest of the night and see how the lines move.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do it.
They sell notebooks too.
It's her process, damn it.
Yeah, I have notebooks for everything else, but when I write down the opening line, then I have to adjust it and keep it going. Whereas that sheet's already got everything I need to know, and now I just fill it in it's like a Mad Libs.
I say
fill it in as I go.
Sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Sorry, I asked.
Fair. That's fair. You're not the boss of me, Scott Steehn.
No, I'm guessing no man holds that title.
Ding. You get a bonus total chaos point for that. I love y'all's show though. Like, I really do love your show. I love coming on. I have a lot of fun with you guys. So honestly, it's not that I don't want to come on the show ever, because I really like coming on your show. I really like both of you a lot. Scott Reichel, who are you? Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Reichel Radio. Besides that, I'm with this guy every weekday, which is an experience. We also do the NASCAR show on Friday with Chris King. So we're busy doing that as well.
We can try a NASCAR show sometime, Allie.
I'm okay with that. I'm not knowledgeable about betting on it, but I watch NASCAR.
You'll fit right in.
Okay, perfect. I like NASCAR a lot. I'm from Texas. I grew up going to Indy races, and my dad took us to Long Beach 500 every year, the Cleveland 500, and then all the NASCAR at College Station and that stuff. So Vegas Speedway, all that.
Yeah. Once again, just going through the show with Scott. If you have questions on games and you want people to actually answer your questions, we cover it in live time. So there you go.
That's a beautiful thing. So make sure you guys subscribe over at Winners and Whiners with my Winners and Whiners crew, and also on the Max Wagers Network, and also on Picks and Parlays. Just subscribe your little butts off, and then you'll never miss anything.
Just start clicking. Just start clicking and don't stop.
Click it or ticket, baby. Click it or ticket. Speaking of Caesar Sportsbook, don't forget about, there it is, our sponsor, Caesar Sportsbook. They're hooking you up. All new accounts get hooked up with up to $1,100 in first bet insurance. You don't want to miss out on that. There's a link to the promo that's in the description of this video, or you can use the promo code MORNINGCZR. That will get you there. All right, let's do some recapping here. Sixers are at the Heat. It's 207.5. They agree it goes under. Mavs are at the Suns, 216.5. They agree that one goes over. Bruins are at the Canes, 5 and a hook. Steehn has taken this one over. Reichel says it goes under. Lightning Maple Leafs 6.5. Reichel's going over. Steen's going under on this one. Blues and the Wild, a flat 6, and they're taking it over. I also like that Blues second period money line. And then Kings, Edmonton, 6.5. They're both going over the total. Don't forget to check out Back to the Window with Scott and Scott Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and may the best capper win. Bye.
Travis.
Thanks.